Guys, whether you like it or not, you are a salesperson for your business. Now, what do I mean by that? First and foremost, what I don't mean is we have to dress up in a suit and tie and start using all these fancy clothes and all that stuff that your average salesperson will do when he goes to see a client for perhaps a home improvement company or whatever. Guys, what I am suggesting, nevertheless, is you need to start learning how to sell your product because showing up at a client's house and measuring up and surveying and measuring up and either giving them a price or running away like most people do and say, I'll get a price to you, and then sending that quote from behind your little safe computer. Guys, that is not sales, right? And the only way you're going to win jobs when you're doing that kind of pitch, for want of a better word, is if you're the cheapest. Now, if you're the cheapest, then you're never going to get off the tools. You're always going to have a job, guys. Full stop. You're always going to have a job. Guys, we need to learn sales. And I'm going to show you how to do some of that today. Right, so before we go on, right, guys, I want you to picture any hotel corridor that you've ever been in your life, right? You will know there'll be a big long corridor and you'll have doors, room doors that open in to the rooms. For a minute or two, I want you to imagine these doors, these room doors, opening in to the corridor. And on each one of these doors is an objection that you're going to face from a client. And you know the sort of standard objections. I need to think about it. I need to speak to my partner. I'm getting other quotes. I'm not sure. I was just getting quotes. It's not really something I'm looking to do right now. I'll maybe do it next year, and so on and on. Right, guys. At Tradecoach and with all my clients, these objections don't happen to my clients, and here's why. When a lead, an inquiry comes into our business, guys, that's technically not a booked lead. And if it is, then you're doing it all wrong. Like, 'cause that's not a lead, guys. That's an inquiry. It's not a lead. It's only a lead when you or a member of your team calls that client up and qualifies slash confirms that appointment to make sure that the client actually wants a quote, to make sure they're actually looking to go ahead in the next sort of 3 to 6 months maximum, to make sure that they're not tire kickers and they've actually got money to spend, and of course to find out what they actually want. We should not be going to every single lead that comes into our business, guys. I've got like when I speak to people on discovery calls and stuff, they always say the same thing. Oh, I'm good at the sales. I'm good at the sales. They say. I say, okay. How much did you make last year? What was your net profit last year? And the average is round about the sort of 40 to 50 grand mark. Guys, that's not being good at sales. If you tell me you're making 250, 300k net profits, then I'm going to say, yeah, this guy must be good at sales, or he's got this amazing product out there. Guys, please know that you're not selling your jobs at the right price because you're amazing at your job. You're not, right? You're probably selling so many and you're probably booked so far in advance because you're too cheap. You are way, way, way too cheap. And I tell you, guy, I'm trying to think. I don't think there's one. I was trying to think of one there because it'd be more authentic if I could find one. But I don't think there's one person I've ever spoke to in all my years doing trade coach who has been charging anywhere near the enough amount for his or her services. I've got clients who have increased their prices by 400 to 500%. Now, bear in mind, when they were at 0% price increase, they were probably similar pricing to you. And they were making 40, 50 grand. They were making a little bit less than that, to be fair, the one I'm thinking of anyway. But I've got several examples of this. And guys, how we do this, right? We could talk about adding value and professionalism and making you the company, the go-to company and whatever. But let's sort of fast forward rather than circle back, and let's talk about the actual sales side of what you do. Because whether or not you like it, you are a salesperson for your business. We can't just be going to every Tom, Dick, and Harry who makes an inquiry into our company and pulling us away from our family to give them a quote. Because let's face it, that's all they want. They just want a quote and they want you out. Our job, guys, is to close the objections, close these doors. Because when you've closed all these doors, they've got nowhere to run. Because please recognize that buyers are liars. They want a price, and as soon as they've got that price, they want you out that door. They want you away. Don't ask me to sign up. Don't ask me for a deposit. I just want you gone, and I want to think about it in my safe space. Right? There's nothing wrong with that. But a skilled salesperson, and again, Not the fucking, not, I've got a picture of Leonardo DiCaprio up there, right? Not the Wolf of Wall Street here. You don't have to be like that. But we can teach you just little things that you can do to close the doors. So when you get to the end of the survey or it's time to deliver the price, however that may be, they can't use these objections that they have. Or it's too expensive, or I'm getting other quotes, or I need to speak to my partner, or I was just thinking about it. It's maybe something we're going to do next year, and so on. And you know how many objections clients can have. Let me pick an objection, right? So let's pick, I need to speak to my partner. That's their objection, right? Because let's face it, nobody's going to spend 1, 2, 5, 20, 50,000 pound on something without speaking to their husband or wife, of course. But more importantly, guys, it's an easy get out for them, right? And we're not going to let them get off the hook that easy, right? So let me give you an example, right? So I need to speak to my partner. That's an easy one to overcome. So easy. My video's jumping here. I hope yours isn't. When the client makes an inquiry, not a lead, an inquiry, you or a member of your team call up that client and qualify or disqualify that client. Just so you know, my clients here at Tradecoach, they disqualify more inquiries than they actually qualify. So that gives you an idea of the amount of tire kickers that we get coming into our businesses on a daily basis. So the inquiry comes in, we call that client up and we ask them a series of qualifying questions. And if they pass, then we go and see them. One of the questions within that qualification template that we provide here at Tradecoach is, when is a good time to come and see you both? Both of you, right? And yeah, from time to time they'll say, "Oh, it's just me. I'm single. Oh, sorry," right, or whatever. Um, and you will get the objection saying, "Oh, my husband's not going to be here. He's working night shift." No, no, well, Mrs. Jones, we really need to see both of you because, and you'll have your own reasons because samples, sizes, design, colours, whatever. And 90% of the time they'll say, okay, well, come the following day, he's off that day or whatever. Guys, we have just closed that door. There's one door closed. When we come to deliver the price, they can no longer say, I need to speak to my partner because he's standing right there. Right, and guys, this is what we teach here at Tradecoach. And module 4 of our Off the Tools program is sales module. It's all about sales. It's a absolute sales masterclass where we talk you through from a trade business perspective how you should be approaching each inquiry, how you should be qualifying each inquiry, and how you should be presenting each inquiry when it's time to go and see the client. It's so important. And again, all of these steps, all of these stages turn you into like a sniper salesman. I'll tell you why I use the word sniper. Because he or she is not expecting you to be a salesman. You're showing up in your gear. You've got like a hoodie on or a polo or whatever. Not a suit and tie or nothing like that. That's ridiculous. So they just think you're a normal tradesman. But you've got all these tools that we teach you here at Tradecoach to close all these doors, to close all these objections. And when it comes to delivering the price, they've got nowhere to run. And they either be honest with you and say, no, I don't want to do it. I just don't want to do it right now. Which they will do from time to time, but a lot of them won't. But if you've closed all the doors, they've got nowhere to run. So the only answer they can give you when you say, would you like to go ahead with that, is yes. Guys, that's a good little learning curve for you, and I hope you've paid attention. I hope this video was useful. If you've watched it all, this video would have been useful, and I urge you to try it on your next survey. Have a good day.